Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for being here and watching on TV. Mayor's report, short as usual. I hope everybody had a good 4th and got to see the fireworks display. It was really nice on the 5th. And the concerts, they had a good parade. You know, Mother Nature was really good with us, even after all the high water. Everything went down just in time for them to pull all that off. So I hope you all had time to enjoy some of that. The other thing I'll bring up that I brought up last time is with the traffic situation with the bridge. Just a reminder, Gutenberg and Washington, slow down. The stop sign there at when you come off 6 onto Market Street, there is a stop sign there. Just because the bridge is closed don't mean everybody just goes and pulls out. I know our police officers have been giving warnings and so forth, but just be patient and be courteous to your fellow people that are driving. Thank you. City Administrator, report.
Okay. Regarding the sewer bond issue, I trust that we had some of the public watching the meeting we just had from 6:30 to 7. But we will continue to refresh our Facebook ads every week. Tweak them a little bit differently. We might link tonight's video to the ad and or the video that Travis had presented as a way of getting out the information. We will also be doing a mailer. Now, our folding machine in the office prohibits us from putting it in with the utility bill. Because of the colored photos, it won't accept it through the machine. So we will be doing a separate mailing to all the utility customers, and we hope to have it arrive like a week before the election. Then I'll be doing just a little brief presentation, a summary of this information at some meetings like HRED and chamber meeting as well. And if any of you are part of any kind of civic organization and you would like some flyers to take, I can provide you with those. Foundation repair. So Dustin from Foundation Recovery was here last week to look at the condition of the back wing of the building, primarily where the food pantry is. There are some new cracks that have developed back there. And so he took a look, took some measurements, and he will be sending us a bid for the necessary work to repair that. More curing and possibly some more foam jacking. And then the structural engineer will be here Wednesday to primarily assess the porch situation, and hoping that he can help us pull some specs together so we can get that project out for bid. And the park grant, I haven't talked about that in a while because it's been 2 years in the making. It's for the ball field lighting project. We have a 3-hour webinar tomorrow about grant administration. These federal grants can be fairly involved. We applied for this back in November of 22. We were supposed to have been awarded the amount of the money in June of 23. So this whole thing is like a year behind, but it's not just us. For whatever reason, the state is behind. All of their awardees are in the same boat as we are. But if things stay on pace, the lighting should be installed this fall. Front office still working on fiscal year end. That is why, again, you don't have your usual month-end financials. We'll provide those for you at the next meeting. Chief Walker, who's actually here, but he asked me to announce, he had submitted Mason and Adam for awards through the Department of Public Safety, the Highway Patrol, and he received notification that they are being honored with what is called the Red, White, and Blue Heart Award. The award ceremony is Thursday, September 12th in Jefferson City, and that is open to the public. And if you want more details on that, just let me know. That's pretty great. And I wanted to give a big thank you to our dedicated employees who came in at 6 a.m. on their holiday to come in and deal with flood issues and campers. If I tried to name them all, for fear I missed someone, but the police were dealing with evacuations of the campgrounds, the park department and some office staff came in to deal with all the camping issues. Of course, the street department was working throughout the day, moving barriers and signs, and I think somebody from the wastewater department had to come in and deal with the lift station, which that should now be fresh in everybody's mind about why we have to move the lift station. So it obviously got inundated with floodwater. But thank you to our employees. That was above and beyond. And thanks to the chamber. They pulled off a great event despite all the challenges. For a while there were some unknowns about how they were going to be able to pull that off. But the water stayed at bay and everything went off without a hitch. And the tourism department was helping behind the scenes with some of the details on that as well. So thank you to all of them. That's all, sir.
Good. Thank you. Public Works Director report, please.
Sorry, we moved your podium.
I can live with that.
Okay.
This isn't too heavy. The Parks Department has been working on mowing and weeding, obviously, and then they were watering trees during the dry spell. I have a feeling they're probably not doing that currently. Obviously, the flooding issues, they came in, got all the picnic tables cleaned out of the area, kept everything from getting pushed down the creek, so I appreciate that. The electric department's been working on the CTAL underground distribution connections to get rid of the overhead that's on the west side of CTAL. We're going to slowly start chipping away at that and get that overhead removed. Removed some old lights in the city park, and we plan on installing 4 more lights in the near future as time allows along Gasconade Street. The water department has been prepping Schiller Street, doing some saw cutting. People may have seen them down there, getting that ready to start on the water line installation project. So when that starts, obviously if the public could kind of keep their eye out and watch for people, working there, we'd appreciate that. Every bit of safety we can get, we appreciate. Also, the gas department has been working on performing some leak surveys. And streets have been mowing and dealing with flooding and traffic related to the bridge as well. So obviously when Gutenberg went under, that was just one more thing, right? Like the only other artery on, through town. So on the bright side, Washington Street seems to be holding up well. So we're going to take that for a win right now. Any questions?
When the Gutenberg Bridge was shut, was there any damage? I happened to drive over it the day it opened up. There was a heck of a lot of debris, large logs. Any damage done to the bridge?
So there's no structural damage that I can see. We kind of looked at it today. That bridge has seen a whole lot worse water than that. So I doubt very much there's any issues. This is a case, we just moved that sewer line that used to go under Highway 19
Right.
there. So there used to be a sewer line that hung off of that bridge. it would get hit every time there was a flash flood and broke. But luckily that one's been put under with a lift station now too. So no issues from that street flooding that I'm aware of yet anyway.
Good.
So anybody else?
Anybody else? Thank you, sir. No public comments, correct? All right, we're going to move to old business. I have one thing under old business. Last meeting, Alderman Granman brought up about the gas rate and the money that we had, and wanted us to return that to the customer. I just feel that we need to educate the people a little bit. Back in March of 20, Panhandle increased the gas rate by 400%, and at that time Hermann chose to absorb that increase while all that went through the court system, rather than passing that on to our customers. We got a refund of $384,326 in 2024, and that was reimbursed to the city for the excess that we had paid erroneously. These were invested in a CD, and it was a good opportunity to put that as seed money for a reserve account. But then, a separate issue completely, was the polar vortex in February 2021. That resulted in our customers owing an additional $562,000 in 1 month. Unlike New Haven and some of the other cities that chose to charge their customers the full polar vortex amount on their next bill, the city of Hermann DOA chose to let the gas department pay it up front and have the customers reimburse us over time through the rate. We were going to do it in a 2 or 3 year system, and the state started a municipal utility fund loan program that was interest-free for 5 years. So we took that opportunity, and we could get reimbursed for the $562,000 immediately in a lump sum. So this allowed us to extend the customer payback period from 2 to 3 years to 5 years, thereby keeping the monthly rate as low as possible for our customers. There were discussions among the board that the gas department was a business and could not wipe out $562,000 in customer debt. It has to be paid back by the customer. So this loan program seemed like the best possible solution. So our remaining balance is $224,726.37. The approximate 10.5 cents added to the customer rate each month is what pays back the loan for the customer's debt that the city initially paid up front for them. And if we no longer charge the customers at 10.5 cents, then we will be eliminating what they owe to us through the polar vortex, and the gas department would have to pay that remaining customer debt. So anyway, I just thought that there should be an explanation so the public understood what she was talking
Thank you
about.
very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So anyway, just thought hope that answered people's questions. I had a couple asked, and I thought, so thanks to Tricia for the information. Any other old business? Any new business? We will move on to ordinances.
All right, so the first item on the agenda, you see the clerk's note there at the bottom on the agenda, just so we can keep track of it essentially. And I assume it will be provided where the board agree, postponed until the next meeting for first reading.
Yeah, Travis is here. Do you want to say anything about, I kind of got the cart before the horse with the Schulte contract, but it's still under review. Do you want to explain that at all? I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I didn't forewarn you.
So the city has received a grant through the SRF program through MDNR to have the lead services exposed and inventory here in town. The city went through a request for proposals process, got a substantial amount of bids. The city went with a low bidder, and the city was in charge of developing a contract for that bidder so they can procure their services. The city drafted a contract. That contract must be approved by the MDNR prior to us inking it with the contractor, and currently it's in MDNR's hands being reviewed. So prior to the board authorizing execution of the contract, I wanted to make doubly sure that DNR was happy with it, so we'll have to go around and revisit this issue.
Did the Board of Aldermen accept that bid?
We were going to do it in one fell swoop, the bid and the contract at the same time.
Yes.
So
You're going to do it when? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
I think the plan was to do them together in an ordinance to accept the bid and to approve the contract at the same time.
Okay.
And the city was lucky enough, I should say lucky, you guys are in a high lead hazard area due to ambient lead in the soil, and as such, you guys are eligible for 100% grant, which you guys got. So there'd be no out-of-pocket cost to the city for this service. But that requires us to go through DNR's processes.
And we're just waiting for approval from DNR for the actual
Contract.
survey and for the contractor to do the survey.
Yeah, so the DNR had to approve our RFP, which they did. We went, solicited RFPs from folks, got a bunch of them, sat down, determined the low bidder was qualified to do the work. We wrote up the contract, sent it to DNR, waiting to get that contract back before we get your approval to sign that and the contract to sign it. In case they have any notations or what provisions in the contract, we're bringing you the final version.
And when do they have to have this completed?
Completion date is kind of up in the air. The current regulatory burden is to have the initial, and the initial isn't defined, inventory into DNR by October 16th of this year. Fun times.
We're stabling that one again.
Yes, please. Thanks, Travis.
Thank you,
And
sir.
so everybody's aware, DNR has a bunch of grant programs out going. ARPA, do the lead service line inventory. So I'm sure their staff is overwhelmed and have they're just overwhelmed with us. So it's taking them time to be responsible.
But they would probably give us an extension if we didn't have it completed by their deadline.
So when I say initial, the initial could be we've done a couple here in-house.
I mean, you could do a block and call it initial by the way it's written. I don't think I'd recommend trying to do that small of an amount, but like Travis said, there's no definition right now of initial. So, you know, we would try to get them under contract and get them here as soon as we possibly can. And whatever they get done prior to that day, we would call that the initial and have them continue work and do the rest of the town.
And so another caveat to this is you guys got the grant. That grant actually doesn't, those funds don't need to be expended until 2026. So even though the initial submittal is required in 2024, that grant program extends beyond that date. So.
And to your point, Dolores, I think that you're probably right. I think more than likely they're going to have to extend this program because the number of communities that are up against the same wall we are is enormous. And they can't put us all in jail, right? I mean, there's so many towns that are up against this that I think there's not going to be a lot of option other than either make an actual extension or kind of look the other way until things start rolling.
And
That's just my opinion for whatever that is worth, 2 cents, none, you know, but
And really the mandate isn't come from DNR, it's come from the EPA, and they're just tasked to implement it through the state.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
we'll move on to the next one.
So next one is bill number 2024-44, an ordinance to approve an agreement by and between the city of Hermann, Missouri and Peggy Brinkman to provide blog and content writer services.
This has to do with the tourism department.
Yeah, this is just to replace, they had a person filling this role and they're no longer doing it, so it's just filling that spot.
Trish, she's, in her, or in your ordinance, you have that the prior term had expired, but in this one, there is no deadline. It's not for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, so is there a reason why?
I was not heavily involved in this. This was Tammy's. Did you see anything that we were reviewing? I guess if there's no deadline, it'll just have an option of renewal.
So they can cancel it at any time, either
Yes, we
party
can.
can. Either
Correct.
party can. Without any problem.
Any other discussion?
So somebody that was currently doing this left our employment? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Just a replacement, not an addition.
Anybody else? Not, do we have a motion to approve that?
Move bill number 2024-44 first read.
Motion has been made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
And we probably appreciate moving it along if you don't mind.
Would you read that the second time?
Bill number 2024-44, an ordinance to approve an agreement by and between the city of Hermann, Missouri and Peggy Brinkman to provide blog and content writer services.
Second reading, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, bill number 2024-44, second read.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. All the ordinance, move on to motions. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
Move to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's made and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So So carried. I need a motion to pay the bills.
I do have a question,
Yes, yeah, you go.
please. Jesse, do you know if a change order was issued for the contract? For that mow seal?
There's a change order for, I don't know if it would be a change order, what we talked about last week.
Yeah, so there was overages on the on asphalt that was laid. We haven't got through the final change orders yet. The buildings you see were for the work completed through your guys' last fiscal year.
But the bill we received was for $356,025. And our prior ordinance that we approved, the bid was for $307,835.
Yeah, so that was a units price contract. There was overages on the asphalt tonnage as they were directed from the field to install additional asphalt areas.
Does that also include Whitman Road? That's why that's in the
Right,
plan.
yeah.
That'd be part of it. We had, so when we initially planned on the street projects for the 23-24 budget, the plan with Whitman Road was to go as far as we could up to $400,000. So when we got the bid for 307, that bid was for basically just that part of Whitman Road from Highway H to, what is that, Seton Heights Drive or Road or whatever. And then everything after that was additional on top of that 307. That wasn't in the bid spec for the project. That was just what we could spend up to the 400,000.
Okay, but we're still spending $320,000, 422, and our prior ordinance, the bid only came up 307. So we're paying more without a change order.
You had additional work done that was field directed to get one road done. I don't know if we have the bid tab available at all. So on bid day,
I don't know, I only have 2 pages from
yes, you
the
have their
invoice, so
pay
I don't have
application
any
for,
more.
you have their pay application for progress payment on the work that was completed prior to also fiscal year ending. Prior to the fiscal year ending, we authorized them to do additional work on Whitman Road because, as Jesse indicated, we had low prices come bid day and we were underneath our original estimate for the whole project. And so, in order to not have another remobilization charge, we instructed them to continue on paving on Whitman Road.
Well, that could be, but why didn't a change order come through at that time?
So,
You didn't know how much it was gonna be?
we had a unit price, yes. So we had a price per ton. We instructed them to install additional tonnage at that unit price.
Okay. I just have a problem with having a contract, setting a price for a contract, and then paying that contractor more without a change order.
Understood. I can do better about bringing change orders. Unfortunately, they had a very limited duration when they were in town. And again, to try to save the city on mobilization charges, knowing that we wanted Whitman Road to maximize the city's budget, we instructed the contractor to do that at the bid out unit price.
And that was all discussed with the board when the 23-24 budget was approved, that we would run up to the 400,000 on the Whitman Road as the funds were available.
I understand what was in the budget, it's 400,000. I am saying there was a contract that the Board of Aldermen approved and it was for $307,000. And we're spending $320,422.95.
But you guys are getting additional work.
Right.
So just to be clear, the section from Seton Heights out to Ethel Frick Drive was not in the project scope. That is currently paved in asphalt, as directed by the city staff
Correct.
to get that paved.
That was direction from the board.
Yeah, so the change of the scope has changed to add additional asphalt to the contract. The city had prices for that, and we directed them to do that work.
So we had prices from all the other contractors as well.
That's possible, but normally I would think you would have a change order for any increase on any contract that was originally approved by the Board of Aldermen. And maybe I'm all wrong, Dave. I don't know.
Well, I think you're right, but I think in this case, it was just the immediacy of having to make a decision kind of on the spot while they were here. I think it was more of the, how it rolled out.
Anything else?
Not on that one, but before we get started again, okay, Bill, the new zoning maps at the end of June, will we get a new one, small one for each of us, or?
We got billed out for the work that Travis's agency has done for us thus far. I think those are soon in coming.
I need to have a workshop with you guys to make sure we got all the changes captured.
Yeah, we'll get you whatever you need when it's done.
Anything else? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
I move that we pay the bills.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's made, second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Carried. All right. Caterers permit, Old Ozarkian Distillery LLC Smoke Fest, September 21st, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve that?
And this said downtown, but they're actually going to be at the amphitheater?
I assume with the normal roping and not accessible from the street or accessible from inside the amphitheater.
Yeah, that whole thing is cordoned off through the smoke. I mean, it's,
The Smoke Fest, yeah.
everyone's at against it.
So is it going to be on Gutenberg Street or just in the,
Just,
It's usually just in the amphitheater, right?
yeah, they haven't used anything with that. So,
Yeah.
so that's all? I move approve the catering permit.
Motion made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Caterers permit for the Blackshire Distillery, the Missouri Bourbon Festival, August 3rd, 2004. That's going to be Copper Mule Distillery. Do I have a motion to approve that?
Can I, is this the first time Hermann has hosted Missouri Bourbon Festival?
It'll be the second.
Second time?
I'll say I think it's second, yeah.
I move to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second?
Motion's made and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain. No problem. Okay, caterers permit for Hermann Hoff Incorporated Wine and Jazz Festival, August 3rd, 2024. I have a motion to approve that.
Make a motion to approve?
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Special event application for the Hermann Pickleballers Pickleball Tournament, September 21st and 22nd, 2024.
If I may, sorry on this one. This one got ahead of me. I thought it had already been through the park board and it had not. So it'll have to go through the park board this month and will be on your next meeting.
Okay, so
So I
we're
apologize.
tabling that one. Okay, no problem. We have no reports. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move to adjourn.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Thank you, everyone.
Meeting I missed.
My favorite time.